Well, good evening to members of council and welcome to the regular meeting of council of the town of Petawawa for February the 22nd, 02/22. Nice messy night out there, but nonetheless, welcome to everyone. So I call the meeting to order. I need a moment of silent reflection, please, for all who are watching and viewing. If you just bow your heads for a moment, and we'll have a moment of silent reflection, please. Thank you very much. I need a motion to approve the agenda, please. Councillor Root, seconded by Councillor Sabran. All in favor? It's carried. Disclosure of pecuniary interest. Does any member wish to disclose any pecuniary interest in any of the matters before us this evening? Seeing none, then we need to go forward to the approval of the council minutes of February the 7th, 2022. Is distributed. Any errors or omissions to the minutes is distributed. Seeing none, I need a motion, please, to accept the minutes. Deputy Mayor Servants, Councillor Carmody, no questions, all in favour? Then it is carried. With that, we'll go to the public meeting that is scheduled for this evening. I'll call this meeting to order. It's a zoning bylaw amendment from rural to residential 1, and it's on behalf of Mr. and Mrs. Peter Hiscott, and I'll call on the planner to confirm the notice of the public meeting has been confirmed as is required under the Planning Act.
Yes, notice was provided as required under the Planning Act.
Can you explain if you've received any comments with regards to this application?
We did receive one response back from Enbridge Gas, and they had no objection to the application.
Thank you. Can you briefly explain the purpose of the amendment, please?
Yes, the purpose and effect of the application is to rezone the severed lands under consent application B63 and B6421 from rural to residential 1. This is simply to allow the creation of 2 residential lots. Each lot is approximately 0.55 hectares in size, just under 1.5 acres, each having a frontage of approximately 64 meters on Sack Road.
Thank you. If the applicant is present and wishes to make any opening comments to explain or support his application, his or her application, pardon me, please do so now. Seeing none, this is a public meeting, so I'll ask if there's anyone in viewing who wishes to make a comment on the application by addressing council. Seeing none, then it's over to council. Any questions from council with regard to this application? Seeing none, request the planner to explain the appeal process if this is approved.
Yes, there's a 20-day appeal period on this application. Anyone who wishes to speak to the application should do so prior to the passing of the zoning bylaw or provide council with written submission. Should they choose not to speak to the application or provide that written submission, they may lose the right to appeal any decision the council makes on the application.
Thank you very much. With that, if there's no further comments or questions, I'll declare the public meeting closed. Thank you very much, Karen. With that, back to the agenda. There's a presentation this evening. CampSafe CCTV and Security Video Program, Sergeant Jeremy Ashley. Councillor Carmody, if you would introduce the presenter, please.
Thank you, Mayor Sweet. With us this evening, we have Sergeant Jeremy Ashley of the Belleville Police Service. Sergeant Ashley gave a few presentations to the Pembroke Police Services Board and the Petawawa Police Services Board regarding the CampSafe program. And it's a real interesting, innovative public safety program which has been developed down there, and it's spreading through the eastern region of the province. And anyway, Upper Ottawa Valley OPP is seriously looking at adopting this program, and I thought it would be worthwhile to have Sergeant Ashley come to speak to us tonight to explain a little bit more about this program for the benefit of council. So Sergeant
Thank
Ashley,
you.
over to you.
Thank you, and good evening to Sergeant Ashley.
Good evening.
The floor is yours, Sergeant.
Oh, thank you, sir. I'm going to see if I can share my screen here. And let me see here. Let me see if I can share my screen. Okay. And you gotta love technology when it works, right?
Mm-hmm. There you go. Oh, yep, there you go.
Maybe. All right, let me see if I can do this here. Does everyone see that slide up on the screen there?
It's a little
Yep.
small,
It's a little small, eh?
but it's not taking up the whole screen. Maybe
Oh, is
that's,
it this one right here? You see my mouse move?
I see.
Let
Okay,
me see if I can. Let me share. Let me see if I can do that one there.
Yeah, it looks like
There you go.
there we go.
All right, I figured it out. My goodness. Okay, thank you for your patience, and thank you, council, for this opportunity to speak about a program that I really like talking about. This presentation I've given a couple times to police services boards. I've pared it down to keep it light, tight, and bright for you. And it's about CamSafe and what it's about and how it impacts your municipality, and how it's a great way for the public to partner with the police. Number one, this is all about video. As you can imagine, in the world of policing, video is a crucial part of any investigation. And it's generally, my experience has been, it's one of the first things you look for when you're investigating a crime, whether it's someone breaking into cars on a residential street, or whether it's something a little bit more major like a homicide. Video evidence is crucial, important, and it's plays a part in almost every investigation out there. What I found, my experience and that of other officers, is the hardest part is finding that video, sourcing it out. It's out there. A lot of people nowadays have Ring doorbell cams or security camera systems that are installed in their home that they've done themselves. So my thought process with this is that it's generally the hardest thing is to find out where that video is, and that was kind of the onus of what got me thinking about developing some kind of a program that could be used in Belleville, could be used in up in the valley, it can be used wherever across Canada to better those investigations. So let's talk about how it works. The simple answer for you is that CamSafe is a video, is a registry of security cameras and doorbell camera locations in a municipality, town, or area. It's essentially a phone book of contact information for those camera owners. It's divided into two different sides. For the public, there's the public side, and obviously for the police, and we'll get to that in a second, there's a section that's used for as a tool for investigations. And the strength of this program is in how it's used as a tool by police for investigations. But let's talk about the public side. So if you go to camsafe.ca, it's all web-based. If you go to camsafe.ca, you can register as a participant, and it's a great way, like I said, for the public to partner with police. and that is really what's happened in our area, both with our municipal service. So I'm with Belleville Municipal Service, but with all of the OPP surrounding areas in our region. The public has really bought into this, and it has become a really valuable tool. So how it works is when you go to camsafe.ca as a member of the public, you can register, and really all that is required is your basic contact information, your name, your phone number, if you'd like to provide that, and certainly your address. And we'll see where that's important in a second. But you can put as little or as much detail in your account as you would like. The one thing that we do not want is any kind of account access information for your video cameras themselves. Because remember, this is a phone book. It's a phone book of contact information for police to use. It's not a phone book for police to access anything to do with your cameras. So and I'll get into how it's used by police in a second, but when you log in from the CamSafe website to your own account, this is what you see. So this is my own personal account from my own house. So all I see when I log in from the public side is my name. I've blocked out obviously my email, my phone number and all that stuff, but I only see my information. I don't see if my neighbors have registered with the program. I don't see other, if my mother has or if any other businesses have. All I see is my own personal account information. I put in my name, my email, my phone number, my address. You can add multiple addresses if you want to, if you're a business owner. These camera views here, this is actually a screenshot that I've uploaded. There's no direct access to anything through this website. This is just a screenshot so that I can show what my camera views when it's turned on. And of course, any of these items I can delete at any time. I can delete my account at any time as well. Where CamSafe really separates itself from other registry programs, because over the years I've seen other police services try and start registry programs where they ask the public to register their cameras, very much like that. With police, is that information 9 times out of 10 that I've seen is stored on a computer somewhere in the police service. So those officers that are on the road or investigating crime, they have very, very, very limited access to where those cameras are. So where CamSafe separates itself from those programs is the ability to be used as a tool by police officers, because it places that information in the hands of officers on the road. So when the police log in from a secure site, or from their secure login, they log in with their work email address after they've been approved to use the system. What they see is something very different. They see a map view of a region. This right now obviously is Belleville and Prince Edward County and Central Hastings. And so what this is this is a map view of our area, and all these little flags and numbers are representative of people who have registered with the program. So if I'm an officer on the road and I am looking for information about a break and enter on a certain street, and I want to find out who has cameras, I can zoom in on an area just like Google Maps and click on whatever flag I want to click on, and it shows me that person's contact information, their phone number, address, because they've registered with the program. And then these are screenshots of their camera views that they have uploaded. So what I can do is create a list of camera owners in this area and export it, and I can follow up by contacting them and requesting the footage from them. That's where at least I've found the most useful part of this CamSafe program is, and it's a really slick way for the public to partner with police so that officers on the road and investigators that are looking into different elements of crime have a starting point, and that information's out there, and they can access it easily. It's been tested, and we use it here in our service. I know OPP in my region use it on cell phones, on laptops, on tablets. It's been tested on a variety of different platforms because I wanted to make sure that that information is accessible by officers in real time in their vehicles wherever they're at, so they can use that data as they see fit. One of the things that is important about CamSafe as well is that it's designed to be implemented in any community across Canada. The map that you see in behind here with all the flags, that's shared with, it's built on a secure Google platform. So it's shared with any police service that joins CamSafe, because as you know, crime does not have borders. So if in my region, if I zoomed out, I can see that the valley from where I'm at. And if there's anyone registered in your area, I could find out their contact information as well. If I had an investigation that sometimes crosses borders into, you know, other jurisdictions, I can reach out to them and ask them for request footage from them as well. So it's something that began over the last year. We had a great sponsor that came in and built and paid for a web designer to build it for us. And it has been really well received, and it's been utilized by all of our officers in this region, both OPP and Belleville City. And it's been embraced by our community as a way to partner with police. And we've actually had, you know, good support from our media. And through advertising campaigns. We also have local builders that are building CamSafe communities, they call it, where they are encouraging new home builders to register their security cameras with CamSafe, so that it just adds to that database. Because without that partnership with the police, or partnership rather with the public, this program really isn't of any use. You need people to buy into it and understand what it's all about. It's about helping police keep our community safe and investigating crime. And it's a way for people to utilize that technology that they've put in their homes. Ongoing public promotion is important as well. We have a couple different campaigns that are starting up locally here to encourage people to join up and to be a part of it. And I know that Petawawa and Pembroke you're both just kind of at that beginning stages. So I've had some discussions with the inspector about next steps, and certainly next steps would be to initiate a campaign with the media, both editorially and possibly with advertising, in the sense of promoting it in the public to register, because everyone who partners with police through this, it benefits officers when they go to investigate incidents or crime in their neighborhoods. It's just a really a well-rounded approach that benefits the entire community at large. Of course, I've developed a manual for the inspector as well to follow in just getting that word out there about the program, and also training for OPP officers. The program itself and the utilization at camsafe.ca is extremely intuitive. It's very easy to use, both from a public registration standpoint, but also from officers using it out in the road and in the real world. It's very, like I said, intuitive, easy to use. It's pretty simple when you really boil it down. It's a phone book for officers to reach out to those partners in the community that want to help out, and possibly provide video footage to help solve crime. I know I raced through a lot of this, but I just want to say thank you again for taking the time to listen to me ramble on about this. I'm excited about it. I really think that Petawawa and Pembroke are very innovative in how they're just really embracing this and running with it. And I really think it's going to be a good benefit to your community. So if you have any questions at all, please feel free to ask me now or flip me a message. at any point. I'm more than happy to assist. I've come up to Pembroke for a presentation in December, I think it was. It was very tropical. I'm more than willing to come up again and visit and answer any questions or walk people through anything that has to happen. Next steps for me with the inspector is to sort out the next plan of implementing it in your area. And we're really excited about that, to brand it for Petawawa and Pembroke, and to see it start being used.
Well, thank you very much, Sergeant. Sounds like a very innovative program, and one that I know Petawawa is always proud about the fact that we're a very safe community, and this, it seems to me, is something would enhance that safety that we already have. I had some questions down there, but I think you answered them as you went through the program. For example, how long has the program been in effect? I think you said 1 year, if I'm not mistaken.
Correct.
I was concerned about the cost of this program. As I understand, registration would be free. Is that correct, or is there a cost for that?
It is very, very, when you look at cost of software and programs like this across the province, it's very cost effective for any size municipality to buy into. And that was important to me when we started this out, that it wasn't something was prohibitive for smaller municipalities and smaller police services to buy into. Basically, for your municipality, it's a $500 one-time buy-in fee. And what that does is the map that you saw on the screen, when someone from the OPP in Pembroke or Petawawa area logs in to CamSafe in their area, it just geo-centers that mapping on their area, so they only see their area. They don't have to start at Belleville and then scroll all the way up, right? But it's, yeah, so it's, and I believe that Petawawa and Pembroke have split the cost of that $500, $250 each, and that we're in the process of starting to build your part of that.
Okay.
At this point, there's no annual fee. Belleville Police Service, my senior management here, has been extremely supportive of this program to cover the costs of hosting it.
Sure. So, Sergeant, I think one of the big challenges, and I think you have to walk through this, is marketing this initiative and getting it out there. And I think that is going to be addressed by, I think, Staff Inspector Neufeld and the Police Services Board, as I understand that. Is that correct? Yeah, it seems like, just walk me through it. So I've decided to do this, and I just put a new security thing up on my house. So, okay, there will be some contact information or somebody that I would contact and get it registered through the Police Services Board, or
no,
this has yet to be determined.
If you there's no board, there's no other levels of bureaucracy that you have to involve yourself in. If you're a resident anywhere in the province right now, if you went to camsafe.ca, so that's CAMSAFE.ca, and click on register, you can register yourself as it is right now. And it'll that registration process, I can show you again. It's literally your name.
Yeah, I saw it there. Yeah. Okay.
That's all you need to do. Yep, that's correct. You can start the public in Petawawa and Pembroke and the Valley right now can register. They can go crazy with registrations if they want. Sure. What I found was that for us in Belleville is that we had to the first 6 months after launching it was just getting the word out, and that was through different media channels and whatnot, right? To encourage the public to support it and to register their cameras. And I can tell you that it's really it shows me what a Petawawa and Pembroke, how much of it's a municipally driven program at this point. How you've asked me to come and present here. I thought when I was putting it together it'd be more of a police driven thing, but municipalities have really embraced it and they see the value in it, and you're the first ones to take the step and say let's do it. So it's pretty innovative for you to do that.
And did I understand from Councillor Carmody that we've already contributed to this, or you're suggesting that we contribute to this, to split it with the city, $250 a piece? Is that what I understand has been suggested. Councillor Carmody, yes?
Yes, Mayor Sweet, that is what's being suggested. And it's important to note that this program would be spearheaded by the Upper Ottawa Valley OPP and sponsored by both the Petawawa and Pembroke PSB. So we would each give in $250, and the Upper Ottawa Valley Detachment would be the lead on the program.
Sure.
So it's a program from their perspective, and our residents are able to register.
Sure, it sounds like an excellent program. It really does. Just a suggestion to the Police Services Board: we have a showcase coming up, and that might be an opportunity to present this. We're always looking for new and innovative things to put out there and to use. Sergeant, there's roughly about 8,000 to 10,000 residents of our communities that come into the showcase to one of our booths, and it mightn't be a bad idea to bring that forward at that point in time. That's, I see no downsides to what you're presenting here, but I'll certainly will open it up, and any members of council have any questions about this, please. I see. Okay, we've got a whole bunch of people here. So
Oh boy.
that's okay. We get lots of time. We've got Councillor Roots, then Councillor Sabrin, then the Deputy Mayor. Councillor Roots.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor, and thank you, Jeremy, for bringing this forward, and Councillor Carmody through the Police Services Board. I would definitely support the $250 fee for this. I think it's great for the community. Personally, myself, I love technology, and any way we can make our community safer. Petawawa prides itself on being a very, very safe community. A question: is this open for businesses also, Jeremy? That can they sign up for this? I hear lots of talk about residential. Yeah. I know on the business side, I would do anything to support our businesses. I just throwing that out to you. Thank you.
Yeah. Well, yes, and thank you for bringing that up. One of the first things that happened in Belleville was that all of our school boards, both school boards, our municipality and our social services agencies all came on board as partners and registered all their cameras. And as well, in the account information, you can register multiple addresses. So what's happened is we have business owners that'll register their home address, and then they'll register their business account as well. So you can add multiple cameras and multiple addresses, or you can register your own separate account for your own business. So we have a couple of different larger businesses here that have started their own little registration account, and it's so easy to do. It's just a nice way to bookmark that. Yes, we have technology that may be of assistance to police to use, and feel free to reach out and contact us to request it. So yeah, we have multiple businesses that have signed up. We have our municipal services, both here in Belleville and in Quinte West, that have registered all the cameras municipally, both school boards and our social services sector. So it's Hastings County here. So any social services agencies that have cameras in their buildings, they register, they've been registered. So and that's where you get that it's a nice blend of both residential business and municipal infrastructure that comes on board. So,
okay, thank you. Follow up.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. Thank you, Jeremy. Glad to hear. I forgot about the schools. That's really good also, because that's important today also for security. Thank you.
You're welcome.
Councillor Sabran.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. Thanks, Councillor Roots, for asking my question. I appreciate that. To Sergeant Ashley, thank you for bringing this forward. Again, what I like about it is I like that it is secure to the people who participate. So I can't see your information, you can't see mine, but it's accessible to the folks who need it. And I think that's really great. I'm not aware of any cameras that we have in the municipality, but again, if the word gets out, it just might encourage folks to go out and get these systems, and it sort of enhances that whole neighborhood watch kind of a concept, in my opinion. So thank you very much.
Yeah, it's been called Neighborhood Watch 2.0. So
okay. Now, I thought I saw Deputy Mayor, and then I thought I saw Councillor McLean. Is that true? So Deputy Mayor, then Councillor McLean.
Thank you, Mayor Sweet, and thank you, Sergeant Ashley, for filling us in on this project. Looks like a very cost-effective way to keep our community even safer than it already is, and also a great help in assisting our local detachment in solving crime as well. The question I have for you is, I know it's only been a year, but have you been successful in signing up quite a few members of the public in Belleville? And do you have any success stories of where, you know, this sped up the investigation of a particular criminal act?
Yeah, that's a great question. Right now, as it stands, we have over 1,000 cameras that are represented in the Belleville. So there's Belleville City, then there's these outlying areas that we have as well that people have registered in. And through that portal, we have well over 1,000 cameras that are represented. And that's a blend, again, of schools, residences, and businesses. So it's been really successful that way. I can tell you that every single major incident in Belleville, for sure, it's been utilized to locate video. Some of which have not been, had not been known before, that without CamSafe, they wouldn't have been pointed in that direction to that resident who had video. I know that in Quinte West, our neighboring municipality here, when OPP, it was the first day that they had access to it. They found they had I believe it was a bunch of car break-in and I call them car break-ins, but kids going through cars. And they happened to look in the area when they first got access, and within about 5 minutes, they found 3 or 4 residences that had cameras that they could follow up on. So it's pretty effective when it rolls out, and officers are using it on the other end. It can be really cool to see it be used as a tool. So yeah, we've had, and I only expect it to grow in this region. We've only really, like I said, since June of last year, so was the launch. So we're already at over 1,000 cameras, and that's, you're talking about an area that's rather large, but when you really boil it down, that's a lot of sources of information that we didn't have before, and we didn't have easy access to. So it's great to be able to reach out to those residences and those businesses and ask for help. So
Yeah, you got 1,000 eyes in Belleville right now.
That's right. Yeah. So,
yeah. Councillor McLean.
I just had a quick follow-up there.
Oh, sorry.
Mayor, if that's
Sorry,
okay.
sorry. Yeah.
Go ahead.
Just a question, maybe from a public point of view. If footage from my personal camera is used in one of these investigations, is there any requirement for that member of the public to testify, or any responsibility on their part beyond just providing the footage?
That's a great question. So CamSafe is built to be the phone book that an investigator will use to find out, to find or locate a resident who may or may not have video footage. And then at that point, it's up to the investigator to reach out to that person and facilitate getting that footage. That nothing transfers through CamSafe itself. But when an officer, if you have a house that has a video camera in it that an officer believes footage may be valuable to his investigation, he's going to request it. If there may, and I can't speak for it doesn't happen in every investigation, obviously, right? And it would be up to the officer to explain to you that if you're partnering with the police and you're helping them by providing them with any kind of evidence or footage or anything like that, there may be an onus on you to say to come to court and testify to that. But again, that's not the purpose of this program. Is to connect the public and the police together, so that police have a tool to reach out to the public and say, I think that this footage would be beneficial to us. Can we get it? Or it's a way to source out that video. As far as down the road with a case and investigation and evidence, if you provide anything to police, if a statement or a piece of evidence as a letter or a piece of video or audio, then you may be called to testify in court to testify to that for sure.
Okay, thanks. Looking forward to seeing this rolling out in our area.
All right, thanks.
Councillor McLean.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. Through you to Jeremy. Thank you for your presentation, Jeremy. I was just wondering if you could speak again on who has access to the cameras from the policing side and how that access is granted and then controlled, as there is I imagine, a large turnover of officers on a regular basis. Is it a personalized login? Is it a login per police station? How are you going to control it when the growth comes and there's turnover of
That's a good question as well. So right now, how it's set up is once an officer is trained on using the database and agrees to the terms and conditions, they're sent a link to a secure area where they can put in their work email address, their name, and their badge number. And then that is sent into CamSafe. Right now, it comes to myself for approval. I verify who they are and that they're an officer. And then that access is granted to the database, and they're granted access. There's another level of security that we're building in, so that seeing on the horizon the growth of this already, the website is built to be scalable to that. So we're building in another level of security so that we can have an OPP. So say Inspector Newfield or his designate would be able to approve any OPP officers that have requested access to the database. On the back end as well, you don't like to talk about it, but there is an audit trail of officers' conduct using this database, so that at any time I can see who's logged in and what accounts or what information they're accessing to make sure that it's appropriate. And of course, it's a police tool, right? So it's they're subject to any kind of rules and regulations that they have internally as far as their conduct goes as well. So.
Okay. Well, thank you very much. Further questions from anybody for clarity or update? Councillor McLean.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. Jeremy, again to you. Is there like a long-term plan on monetizing this and then selling this as an investigative technique or tool to the police forces?
No. Right now I'm in my service. We are talking with a corporate lawyer about maintaining this as a not-for-profit that's separate from the Belleville Police Service, or figuring out that infrastructure of that. There's no plans to monetize this at any point. The whole purpose of this program, in my opinion, is to keep it not-for-profit, to keep it affordable to any size service or municipality in Ontario or across Canada. And for officers to be using it as a tool, and to me, selling it as a product, I don't think we'd have the public buy-in that we do as we do right now. It's a community-based program, and that's kind of where it's grown from. And I really want to keep it on that level. And so the only thing I've ever made off of this program is I got a toque from Pembroke when I went and did a presentation, which was really appreciated. But that's it. So I don't have any plans to monetize this at all. And really, I want to make sure that it stays in the community's hands. And whether that looks like it's a not-for-profit board that maintains it long-term, 2, 3, 4, 5 years down the road, those strategy sessions are happening right now to figure out what's the best step forward for this in the future as it grows. So,
okay. Councillor Mullins.
Thanks, Jeremy, for your presentation. And I think you might have touched on this briefly with Gary's comments, but has there been any liability issues that we should be looking into? I'm not sure how they would come about, but there's always liability issues in this day and age.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and to address that, our lawyer in the service here is developing terms and conditions of use for the officers section of it, and also for the public to revamp the public section of terms and conditions, and they should be done, I think, this week. As well as that, I've had a Crown attorney locally here review the program, the auspices of it, to make sure that it falls within that framework of it's a police investigative tool. It's not a police database. It's a public registry. So it's if you're a member of the public and you want to partner with the police and volunteer to be a part of it, you can. And if you want to delete or remove your consent at any time, you can as well. So a big part of this is ensuring that the public has informed consent about what they're getting into, and that if they do sign up for this program, that, as one of the fine counselors just mentioned, that if you provide police with a piece of video evidence, you may be asked to testify in court down the road that was your piece of evidence that you provided, right? So that's really the only liability that's being crossed off the list right now. It has been reviewed by, like I said, a Crown prosecutor, and then right now our lawyer here is redoing some of the terms and conditions for it. So to make sure everything's on the up and up, and that also falls into the strategy for 2, 3, 5 years down the road as far as what this looks like, separate from Belleville Police Service as its own entity, right?
Okay, thank you, Jeremy.
You're welcome.
Further questions? Having seen none, then, Jeremy, thank you very much, Sergeant, for coming up here or getting online this evening and talking to us. This is, as I say, is an extremely innovative initiative. This is pretty rare in the municipal section when you get something as far-reaching as this, and the cost is virtually nothing. That's refreshing in itself at this time, at this day and age. So to you for putting this together, and to the Police Services Board for bringing it forward, thank you. And to council, I thought we asked you some pretty tough questions, but that's good.
Like being cross-examined.
Yeah, well, yeah.
And I'd say, sorry, Mr. Mayor, but I'd say that if at any point in a day or 2 or 3 or 4, if anyone has any questions, please do not hesitate to reach out to me directly.
Sure, absolutely.
Yeah.
And that usually is the case. I should have asked about this, or I should have asked about that.
Sure.
And I appreciate your remarks with regards to that, that you're open to answer any questions that may come up at a later date. So thank you again, and we look forward to, through the Police Services Board and Inspector Neufeld, to bringing this forward, and we'll have a look at that again. If you want to roll this out, there's an opportunity. I think at Showcase, as I said, there's a lot of people there, and we do have a booth there. The OPP have presence there at our booth, and they probably have one of their own, as perhaps the city of Pembroke would too. So again, thank you very much. I appreciate that. If there's no further comments or questions, again, thank you so much. And I hope the rain and the freezing rain down your way is not too bad.
No, it's just borderline tropical down here.
It is.
Yeah.
Well, thanks for letting us know that. I think it's pouring up here, or something that's happened behind me. But anyway, again, thank you for that. We appreciate you being online this evening. Thank you.
Okay. Thank you. Take care.
Thank you. With that, we'll go back to our agenda, and under bylaws, the first bylaw that we have is bylaw 148020, a bylaw to amend bylaw 45607 of the Corporation of the Town of Petawawa as amended, be ready first and second time. I need a mover and a seconder for that. Councillor Root, seconded by Councillor McLean. All in favor? It is carried.
Corporation of the Town of Petawawa, bylaw 148022, being a bylaw to amend bylaw 45607 of the Corporation of the Town of Petawawa as amended. This constitutes first and second reading of bylaw 148022.
The bylaw 148022 be ready third time and passed. I need a mover and a seconder, please. Councillor Carmody, seconded by Deputy Mayor Service. Are there any questions or comments or concerns with this bylaw? Having seen none, I'll call them for the vote. All in favor? Opposed if any? It's carried.
Corporation of the Town of Petawawa, bylaw 148022, being a bylaw to amend bylaw 45607 of the Corporation of the Town of Petawawa as amended. This constitutes third and final reading of bylaw 148022, this 22nd day of February 2022.
Go to the next bylaw, which is bylaw 148122, a bylaw to authorize a development agreement with 1994054 Ontario Inc., Kevin Holm be ready first and second time. Need a mover and a seconder, please. Councillor Sabran, seconded by Councillor McLean. All in favor? That is carried.
Corporation of the Town of Petawawa, bylaw 148122, being a bylaw to authorize a development agreement with 1994054 Ontario Inc., Kevin Holm. This constitutes first and second reading of bylaw 148122.
Go to third reading of 148122, be read a third time and passed. Mover and seconder for that, please. Deputy Mayor Service, seconded by Councillor Roots. Any questions or comments? Councillor Moans.
Karen, whereabouts is this property?
It's in the industrial park. It would be
Okay,
just down from Patty LaPointe's.
okay, I got it now.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Okay. Other comments or questions on this bylaw for third reading? Seeing none, I'll call for the vote. All in favor? Opposed of any? It's carried.
Corporation of the Town of Petawawa, bylaw 148122, being a bylaw to authorize a development agreement with 1994054 Ontario Inc., Kevin Holmes. This constitutes third and final reading of bylaw 148122, this 22nd day of February 2022.
The next bylaw is 148222, a bylaw to appoint an acting building inspector for the town of Petawawa. Be ready first and second time. Need a mover and a seconder, please. Councillor Carmody, seconded by. Going once. Councillor Sabran. All in favor? It is carried.
Corporation of the Town of Petawawa, bylaw 148222, being a bylaw to appoint an acting building inspector for the town of Petawawa. This constitutes first and second reading of bylaw 148222.
Okay, we'll go to the third reading of 1482. Be read a third time and passed. Need a mover and a seconder, please. Deputy Mayor Service, seconded by Councillor Moans. Any questions, comments, concerns with this bylaw? Councillor Sabran.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. Is there any idea as to the longevity of this appointment? Are we looking at perhaps 6 months or less? Just a curiosity question. Thank you.
Karen, can you speak to that, please?
Sure. Am I unmuted? I've lost my picture.
Yeah, no, you're fine.
Oh, sorry about that. Yes, we're basically looking at probably about 6 weeks in terms of time frame, maybe a little bit more depending on how things go, but it's a limited time, definitely.
Okay, it's backfilling a situation. Further comments or questions on this particular bylaw, the third reading? Seeing none, then I'll call for the vote. All in favor? Of any, it's carried.
Corporation of the Town of Petawawa, bylaw 148222, being a bylaw to appoint an acting building inspector for the town of Petawawa. This constitutes third and final reading of bylaw 148222, this 22nd day of February 2022.
Go to a series of meetings. First series of meetings is council and committee meeting of February the 14th, 2022. I need a mover and a seconder to accept the minutes, please. Councillor Carmody, Councillor Service, any questions on the minutes? Seeing none, I'll call for the vote. All in favor? Opposed of any, it's carried. Next is the Accessibility Committee meeting of November the 25th. I need a mover and a seconder. Councillor Sabran, seconded by Councillor Roots. Councillor Sabran, please.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. I would just like to point out under old business work plan updates, it states that a brief is going to be prepared for council regarding findings from municipalities that we had sought out back in June of 2021. Unfortunately, after the culmination of all of the response, responses. We don't have enough for a briefing, so we've brought this back to our work plan for 2022, and I will be at some point, probably March, just bringing forward a discussion item with respect to accessible design features in the built environment, and findings and some recommendations for council's consideration. Thank you.
Thank you. Any questions for the sitting member, the chair? Seeing none, then I'll call for the vote. All in favor? Opposed of any? It's carried. Next set of minutes is the Police Services Board. You need a mover and a seconder. Councillor Carmody, seconded by Councillor Mons. Councillor Carmody.
Thank you, Mayor Sweet. You can see by these minutes that at this meeting, we had a presentation by Sergeant Jeremy Ashley regarding the CamSafe program. So that's the same, essentially the same presentation that you witnessed this evening. And this was our first meeting of the year. So I was elected chair of the board again. And we did some housekeeping type stuff that happens at the beginning of every year, such as setting our goals for the coming year. And we were in the middle of doing, or we were just wrapping up, I should say, the detachment commander's performance appraisal. We got that completed and off to Eastern Region. And yeah, it was a busy enough meeting, and I'd be happy to entertain any questions that anybody might have.
Hey, thank you for that, Councillor. Questions of the sitting member? And congratulations on being elected chair again. Good job. Must be doing something right there, Councillor. Right? There you go. Any questions? Nothing coming back from the province on that plan from the province? Community plan?
Community safety and well-being plan.
Yeah.
No, there is deafening silence in that department, as well as the detachment-based police services boards and our request to have a standalone board. I've heard nothing in that regard yet, but
okay.
And, I don't believe there's been any information anywhere. Correct me if I'm wrong, Don or Colin.
So it's pretty quiet then in that regard. You're okay.
Yeah.
Thank you. Questions of the sitting member? Seeing none, then I'll call for the vote. All in favor? Opposed of any? It's carried. Thank you. Staff reports. Any staff reports?
Nothing to report, Mr. Mayor.
Thank you. Councillor reports, starting with the Deputy Mayor.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. I'd just like to report that in terms of our Petawawa Veterans Banner project, we now have 12 banners sponsored, so we're almost halfway there. So we're clipping along at a nice pace, and hopefully we'll be done soon. And the banners are about to be manufactured, so we'll be able to have a look at those pretty soon. And that's it. Thanks.
Thank you very much. Councillor Sabran.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. I'd just like to report that this past Friday, the 18th, I attended the Sounds of Business event, which was held at a local business, Off the Leash Pet Boutique. Very well done. A lot of faces that I see in the community but have not seen at those events. So it's certainly appealing to a broad range of interests. Really good vocal entertainment, 12-string guitar player, and a lot of range, some good food, and of course a few libations. And so it was a really nice event. The next one will be held at Peak Hot Yoga in March, and if folks are interested, they can go on to the town's website, click under Sounds of Business, and it'll give you all the details. But it's a really, really nice event, and I would encourage, if you haven't been before, to go out. It's just a couple of hours long, so it just doesn't take the whole night, but gives you a really pleasant evening. Thank you, Mr. Mayor.
Thank you. Councillor McLean.
Nothing to report, Mr. Mayor.
Thank you very much. Councillor Mullins.
I'd just like to report that I participated in the meeting last Thursday of the Airport Commission, and I will let Councillor Roots update you as to the proceedings.
Thank you. Thank you. Councillor Carmody.
Nothing to report today.
Thank you. Councillor Roots.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. February 14th, I attended a virtual executive airport meeting. This meeting was for a tender opening for the fuel tank replacement. February 15th, I attended a virtual Town of Petawawa 25th anniversary meeting. And this event is really starting to shape up. And this celebration will have something for all ages, which I'm very happy about. February 17th, I attended a festival hall meeting at the Pembroke City Chambers. I was nominated and accepted to continue to be the chair of the festival hall group. Topics of this meeting were fundraising, chair design, a PO submitted for the chairs, a architect and building inspector update, and a business conversation from the facility manager, as once again we're opening the theater after the COVID restrictions are easing. This weekend, as a matter of fact, we'll host the local symphony. So let's keep our fingers crossed that we move forward with this. February 17th, I attended a virtual airport meeting. Topics of this meeting was a financial audited statement overview of the airport by Mr. Fred Sinclair, an operational update by staff, elections of the chair, which stayed with Alan Wren, and I was nominated and accepted to stay on the executive of the airport. The commission accepted the tender results for Northwest Petroleum Company from Thunder Bay to install and manage the fuel project this year. And I will keep council updated. Hopefully this happens, as we know there's still many issues out here today. We had a grassroots public affairs update, which was presented by Jennifer Lehman. And as I made known to council, this is our lobby group. It was contracted by the airport to help assist us with trying to secure financial and government awareness. Many topics were discussed, such as a business case cap funding for Garrison Petawawa, a county of Renfrew letter of support and comments towards the airport from the warden and mayors, and a letter from our local MPP and local businesses. And Grassroots also talked with Vic Fideli, Minister of Economic and Development and Trade. Grassroots also requested and was accepted for the chair of the airport to make a presentation directly to the Ontario Budget Submission, which he did in January. We also heard that our own economic developer officer, Christine Mitchell, has been a great help in assisting with the airport economic strategies, as well as we're working on a possible Eastern Ontario Development Fund application. So we're very positive, and it's nice to hear that in some progress is being done here at the airport as we continue to work hard for the community and promoting the municipal and community asset. Mr. Mayor, that's everything I have to report. Thank you.
Thank you very much. On my part, I've just had a couple of meetings. One is a finance meeting at the county and a development and property meeting. I was out on a little bit of a break. Tomorrow, I'm very excited about something. You'll hear about it tomorrow, but tomorrow we talk about a twinning exercise with Renfrewshire and Scotland, and we'll be live with the provost from Scotland, and I'll make the pitch along with the warden with regards to this exercise. This is something that I started a number of years ago, and it's coming to fruition. It will be a great economic boost, tourism, manufacturing, et cetera, that shares both cultures between Scotland and Renfrewshire and Renfrew County. As you can appreciate, Renfrew County was born as a result of a lot of immigration from the British Isles over into this part of the world. And if you just go through all of the names of the municipalities, I think you can understand when you look at McNabb, Braeside, and Ralph Buchanan, Wiley McKay, and Arnprior, and Renfrew, and a little place called Burnstown. guess you all know what Burnstown's all about, but anyway, it's going to be an exciting day tomorrow. That's where I've been in the last little while. Okay. Confirming bylaw then is bylaw number 14322 be read a first, second, and third time. Need a motion, please. Councillor Root, seconded by Deputy Mayor. All in favor? That is carried.
Corporation of the Town of Petawawa, bylaw 148322, being a bylaw to confirm the proceedings of the council at its meeting held on February 22nd, 2022. This constitutes first, second, and third reading short of bylaw 148322. This 22nd day of February 2022.
Thank you. So no problem. Motion to adjourn, please. Councillor Carmody, Councillor Moans, all in favor? And the meeting is adjourned. Thank you very much.